So welcome to our August team call, and July was an amazing month. I posted all the recognition today, and seriously, it was amazing. And I'm fired up for Team Cup. I know we were talking about it today. Like I woke up on August 1st and I was like, I'm back at zero. We need to get on this because I feel like there's something about having that team camaraderie that helps you just get a little bit more pumped up. So hopefully if you're in doing Team Cup, you'll be part of the Team Cup Together page, and we're going to have a couple trainings per week, and then we're going to have some accountability using those trackers and whatnot. So I'm going to just go ahead and start sharing my screen because I do have a presentation and I'm going to be talking quite a bit tonight. Okay. I don't know why I always forget to do this. Can you guys see my screen on the whole screen, or is it only on part of the screen? You can see it.
What are we supposed to see?
Can you see it says August team call?
Yeah.
For some reason, I have Google Chrome and I went to some weird setting where it it won't let me see the top of my Google Chrome. Anyways. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about what to post on social media, because I know a lot of especially newer coaches or even coaches who have kind of gotten overwhelmed and taken a step back because they didn't know what to share on social media. I'm hoping this will be helpful. First, I just want to quickly go over announcements. So we do have an Emerald call this Thursday. So if you're not yet an Emerald coach, or you became an Emerald coach in July because of MBF, you just added 2 people as discount coaches under you, you don't really understand why you're an Emerald coach, what it is, how it works, I would encourage you to come on to this call at 5 o'clock on Pacific time on Thursday. We'll have it recorded, but me and Shannon from Fit and Balance will be going through why it's important to be Emerald, what it means, and what the perks are, and how to get there. So I encourage you to be on that. And if you have any new coaches, I would encourage you to invite them to it. We're also going to have the next step up from Emerald is Diamond, and we're going to have a Diesel Nation our upline is having another Diamond push group in September. And along with that, just like I did last time, I'm going to do a small group mentorship for the people who are part of that bigger group. So that involves like a chat thread, and we're checking in with each other more, and I'm giving you more specific feedback. So if Diamond is on your something that you want to achieve, which I highly recommend it, it's you basically have 4 coaches on each leg and 2 Emeralds, so 1 on each leg. And that opens up the compensation plan even more. You start cycling at a higher value. You open up another bonus structure, and there's just a lot of awesome perks to it. So if you want to be part of that group, you have to have at least Success Club this month, and you have to have at least 4 personally sponsored coaches. And remember, these don't have to be working coaches. These can just simply be discount coaches. So as long as you have 4 and Success Club, then you can be part of the group. And I want to say, in order to be part of the mentorship part of the group, I want you to actually want to be Diamond and want to go for it and be willing to be coached. So having being excited about it is part of the qualification to get into the group, not just if you hit this. So I'll have a conversation with you if you've hit this metric to make sure that you're ready and that you want to do it. But if you're at that point, then you definitely you should be ready if you're open to it. So just again, the MBF Fit Club on BOD groups is open till September 6th. So that's basically we're going to start MBFA on the 17th, and then 3 weeks later, the group will end. So it's up to you whether or not at this point, the group is pretty large. If you do want to create your own MBF group, you're more than welcome. If you want to just keep adding to ours, you're more than welcome. I'm going to continue adding to our group. And that's my plan. And challenge packs for MBF are still $20 off. And then for Team Cup, you got some $20 off codes if you're part of Team Cup, but those don't apply to MBF because it's already $20 off. So those discount codes would be good for someone who doesn't want to do MBF, although MBF includes 2B Mindset and Ultimate Fortune Fix. So if your person has any desire to use our nutrition programs even a little bit, or they think they might, I feel like MBF is a better deal. Even though it'd be $20 different basically with the code. And then just wanted to put it on your radar that we are hosting another 6-week virtual race group, the one that me and Sam, who's a professional running coach, host. And we give everyone the option of following our plan that has 3 runs per week, including a long run and a speed workout. And then it also includes like various Beachbody workouts. You could also do MBF or whatever program you want with it, but we give you like a training plan. We have a virtual race, and anyone can invite to that. Me and Sam host it, but you can always invite anyone you want and just add them to the group. And it's really fun. So if you're a runner, which a lot of us are, I highly recommend that you do it with us, at least participate, because that'll lead us straight into 30-day breakaway, which is the virtual. Beachbody came out with its own virtual running group, or running program, which we don't know very many details about yet, but we are planning to have a group. So, all right, I just want to go over recognition because it was a huge month. Oops. So this is our recognition. Rachel and Shayla became diamond. We had a ton of new emeralds, including Shayla, because she went from 0 to diamond in 16 days, which is a crazy record. I also want to recognize the fact that Rachel Baker had her highest Success Club month ever, and she's almost at diamond in her husband's account, even though she just got her own account to diamond. So huge recognition to Melissa, who is Success Starter month 3. So if you guys aren't aware, I talk about it a lot, but if you hit Success Club 3 out of your first 6 months as a coach, you become a Success Starter. And a Success Starter means that you earn a place, you get a free ticket to Summit for our conference next year. And then you also get a place in a test group. So she's going to be in the 9-week Control Freak, which is Autumn's new program test group. So they're probably going to start doing that soon. And she'll get to be one of the first people in all of Beachbody ever to do it. So it's huge, huge deal. So the rest of the people who are listed on here for Success Starter month 2 and month 1, that just means that you need to get to month 3 by hitting Success Club at least 1 or 2 more times. And then you will earn a place in I think it's going to be a different test group. So whatever other next program after Beachbody is coming out. From my understanding, I think this was the only group that was going to get to do the 9-week Control Freak. And then there'll be some other program that we don't even know about yet that you'll get to try. Okay, so also if you aren't aware, we are in qualification for Elite, which is the biggest honor leadership qualification in Beachbody. And this is a team effort. So this is something that we've all worked towards and that everyone on this team has contributed towards. And I am so excited. There's 4 different qualifications for Elite. You can learn about the road to Elite if you go to the Beachbody Champions Facebook page. And I think it's Unit 8. My computer's not showing me, but Unit 8 breaks down the 4 different rungs. So the first one's Team Builder, then Team Leader, then Premier Leader, and then Elite. So we have already, for my team, so you yourself are a team. So every person on here has a chance to make their way down the road to Elite. But we are a team, meaning that like what you guys do contributes to the fact that I and Team Run the World are an Elite team. So if you're interested in knowing that because you want to move forward and you want to be a leader and you want to achieve these things and get the honors that come along with them, go ahead and do your research and go to Beachbody Champions. You can go to FAQ. But this has been a goal that I've been going for 2 years, and that I it seems surreal that we're finally here. And it was definitely a goal that I was like, there's no way we're not doing it in 2020. I guess it's technically will be 2021 Elite team. And I'm just so excited that we are doing it. So that we are in the contributions that everyone, when you look up what the road to Elite is, you'll see that there's different things or different qualifications. And some of that is like just sales volume. Some of it is new coaches hitting Success Club, new coaches earning just their first Success Club point contributes. So if you're a newer coach and you've done either of those things, you are part of our Elite qualification. If you're a Success Starter, we get bonus points. If you advance to Diamond, we get points. If you advance to Star Diamond, we get points. And we have to be a 5-star team in order to be an Elite team. So we just entered 5-star qualification a couple weeks ago, and we are on track to hold it. So the most important thing at this point is for everyone to remain an active coach, which means have at least 50 PV, which I think everyone on this call will be doing. PV is just sales or purchases. And then hold your rank. So if you're an Emerald coach, stay Emerald. If you're a Diamond coach, stay Diamond. And we are gonna do it and we are gonna celebrate and it's gonna be amazing. And so next year at Summit, we'll be recognized and all this awesome stuff. It's a big deal. I mean, there's only, I don't know how many people, how many coaches are elite coaches, but it's a small number and it's a huge, huge honor. So I'm so excited and I'm so just thankful for everyone on the team for just being so incredible and for the momentum that our team has. Cause I'm seeing, like, one of the things that really stuck out to me that Christina Delgado told me was, so she's our upline grandma, mom, amazing, the top of our, she's been coaching for 10 years. And she's just told me that, you know, like, whatever I do shows you guys that you can do it. And that gave me even more like motivation to get to elite, because I know last year when we were premier that I started seeing the wheels turning and some of you thinking I could be premier. But before I did it, you guys weren't thinking that. Like, I feel like setting the goal for elite means that if I'm elite, you can be elite, or anyone can be. So yeah, excited. All right, last quick thing is, a lot of you guys became Emerald last month and hit Success Club. So now you're probably seeing new customers showing up in your back office and you're like, who are these people? So these are free leads. It's another reason, if you don't know what they are, to come to the Emerald call on Thursday, because we explain it a little bit. But you're gonna get free leads. And I did share in the units page of the team page today, like an email, like a sample email that I share, that I send to my free leads. Don't expect most of them to write back, but you will receive a commission on anything they write or they buy in the future. And you just really never know what this person is going to do or who they're going to be. So I recommend at least reaching out to them, letting them know that you're there, telling them a little bit about you. And then who knows, maybe they'll join and be your next awesome challenger or a future coach, or sometimes you just randomly buy like $200 worth of products and you get the commission. So either it's just nice that you get this perk if you have achieved Success Club and you're Emerald or above. All right, so now to get into the social media side. So one thing that okay, does anyone have any questions about this other stuff before I move on? No, okay. So I wanna talk about social media and posting on your main feed versus stories. So I'm going to talk pretty much exclusively about your main feed, which means if you're an active Facebook person, I would recommend posting on Facebook. And it's going to be a slightly different approach, but if you're a new coach and those are the people that know and like you, I would post on Facebook. This training is largely based on Instagram, but a lot of times I see newer coaches, they do their coming out posts and they get overwhelmed. They don't know what to share on their main feed. So they default to stories because it feels safe because they disappear. And while I think stories are such a vital part of social media, because you can be yourself, you can connect with people, you can easily just jump on and share parts of your day. I want to encourage you to be consistently posting on your main feed on Instagram. Because this is your storefront. So if you're spending time going out and trying to find new followers, and then they come back to your page and you haven't posted in 3 weeks, they're going to be like, well, this girl doesn't like really do much, right? Your main feed is kind of like your storefront. So you're going to be showing who you are, what you're offering, and it's going to be what people are going to look through when they want to decide whether or not they're going to follow you. Yeah, they might look through your stories, but your stories are going to be just a moving picture of who you are. So your main feed is something you can control a little bit more. Another reason, a huge reason, so that your main feed is important is because people find you this way. So one of the things that I've taught you if you're in the team cup together, and when we use our tracker, is that you can be proactive and find new followers by going out and making connections, but that is a manual thing, right? It takes time to go out and do that. But when you post on your main feed, this allows other people to actually find you and it might not be a lot of people at a time, but slowly with time that can add up. And if you do get a post that ends up on the Explore feed, which you'd be surprised, it doesn't matter if you have a giant following. If you have an engaging post, it can end up on the Explore feed. Those are things that are going to help people find you. Same with the hashtag. So if you follow, like I follow the hashtag Mother Runner, and sometimes like I'll be in my feed and people will pop up and Mother Runner. It's not like they're not these giant accounts with like, they just wrote a good post, use the Mother Runner hashtag, and now it's in my feed. So I'm seeing it and I might follow them, right? So making sure that you're doing some posts, and plus you got to get better at it, right? So that's one of the things I'm going to show you guys later is like how far I've come with this. And also Kim, who I talked to her about this before I made this presentation, but like she has had such an amazing progression from someone who never posts on social media to what she offers today, that I wanted to show that to you guys too. But don't be afraid of posting on your main feed. So I'm going to give you some guidance on how to do that, what to share, and some tips on that. Oh, the last thing, another reason why I want you to share on your main feed is because people can share your, if you do a story, people can't share your story to someone else or to their story unless you tag them. So if you do a main feed post and it's like has some value in it, say it's like a great recipe, or say like I will often notice, like if you look at your insights, if I do a post that's like really about like mom life or like it's kind of vulnerable about quarantine, I will notice that some people have shared it to their friends. In my mind, I'm hoping that they shared it to their friends to be like, oh, this girl relates, or if I do a post about twins and it has tips in it, I will notice that people will share it probably to their other twin moms or someone they know who's pregnant with twins and they want to share that with them. You can't ever share stories with other people. So you have to be doing some content on your main feed if you want to get your content being shared with other people. All right, so some super quick photo tips. Is Instagram's a visual platform. So you want to make sure that you are using bright, like good quality photos. They don't have to be perfect. So like I said, I'm going to show you what I was posting in the beginning, and it wasn't horrible, but I've improved. So you want to be just in general, like there's always going to be that sweet spot in your house where you the light is in your face. So like where I sit at my desk, I have light. Right now I have the windows closed, but I know that this is a good spot. You'll see me, I often take pictures like in my, off my kitchen. There's just these big windows that come in and I have great light. Whereas my living room, it's awful, horrible lighting. So you almost never see me take pictures there. I almost always use an app just to brighten up my photos. I use Snapseed. Sorry for my typo here, but you can buy a professional filter as well. I don't think you need a professional filter anymore. I think people are more going towards like more natural photos, but you can buy a filter that will lighten things up. I could advertise them. Like they show how it's all dim and then it goes to light. But I highly recommend investing in a tripod. And this is because you can take pictures of yourself. So I know that like when I'm like, hey, Mike, will you take a picture of me? He's like, takes one picture and then he like hands it back to me and I'm like, okay. And I look at it and like, okay, can you take it? Can you take another one? Like, so it's like, get a tripod for your marriage. Okay. Get the tripod so that you can take some pictures of yourself. And I know you're going to, especially if you're newer, you're going to be like, I feel totally silly taking these pictures. But the thing is, you don't a lot of times the pictures I post are not from that day or they're not from that moment. When I feel like it's a good day or I'm in the mood or I got dressed up for some reason, I might take a few pictures with my camera, or I try to just make it a habit of when we're out on a walk with the kids, I'm like, okay, I asked my husband to take a picture of us. And if you guys follow me, for those who are on my team, the running photos, I take those using the timer on my phone. Just know that you're going to get better also at taking photos. So if you're new and you're like, this is totally foreign to me, you're going to get more comfortable with it. Because I know so many of us, we take pictures of everyone else, we take pictures of the kids, and it's like, I know sometimes when new coaches will be like, I don't even have a photo of me for like my announcement post because I never take pictures of me. So just know that this is gonna feel a little foreign at first, but with time, you're gonna get better at it. and more comfortable with it. And on that same note, people want to see you, not like groups of strangers or like family members that besides like your immediate family. Save those for stories, or for maybe like you do the main picture of you and then the next photo, like you do a handful of photos and the next ones are other people. Like people just generally, they want to see you. And I know that, again, that can feel foreign if you're new to sharing on social media, but it's truly what they want to see. All right, so for people starting out who are like, I have no idea what to post, this is my 3 recommendations, and this is from that guide for our Team Cup tracker. At the bottom it says this is the screenshot, 3 social posts per week. This is my recommendation if you want to go with 3 topics per week, is adding value in one post, telling a story in one post, and inviting to a group or coaching. Just start with the goal of 3 a week. And I think Team Cup is a great way to be like, okay, I'm going to fill up this tracker. I'm going to do those 3 posts a week. So I'm going to go into this next part, but then you should have like 3 topics that you rotate into these 3 types of posts. And remember that this is not all Beachbody. So no one wants to go to an account that is all you talking about Beachbody every day. That's not why they want to join you. They want to join you because they know you, they like you, they trust you. And that trust is built through you adding value, them coming to your page and feeling like they're getting something from it, or they're feeling inspired, or they relate to you. So for me, everyone's going to have their own like amount of like part on the spectrum here. I am a storyteller. I've always loved writing. It's my thing. So you're going to see more stories from me. Whereas like if you follow Kelly Burnham, my coach, she's less of a storyteller, more visual and more like lighthearted. And so you're going to kind of have to find your voice, but, and she does a lot more like fashion tips and things like that. So just know that it's going to be, you can use like, watch what I'm doing as a guide. But if you're like, man, these stories are just not me, then don't beat yourself up if you can't tell like a lengthy story. But just remember that when you're sharing anything, say for example, you're sharing, like rather than doing a post that says like, check, did my workout today. It did great. I did great. I really didn't want to wake up this morning, but I did it. How's your day? Like something very vague. You like by telling a little bit of a story about how exactly you felt when you woke up in the morning and your alarm clock went off and it was 4:59 and or whatever, your kid woke you up at 4:59 and you thought about going back to sleep, but you thought you knew your accountability group was counting on you. And so you logged in, and I don't know, just like getting into a little bit of more of a story is going to connect with people better. All right. I just covered this. So basically all your posts should be trying to help people get to know you, like you, trust you. And I know that sometimes, I actually remember Tracy telling me this, she's like, my life's not very interesting. And I was like, yes, it is. It's your life. Like, it's your life. Literally, like people like to be involved in the story, and it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to be jetting off on crazy vacations or have have this lavish lifestyle or be super extreme or you just have to be you. You have to connect with people on the everyday details of life, and be bringing them in through that story with you. Okay, so this is what I want to ask yourself when you're thinking about your content. I want you to come up with 3 categories of content, and you're going to rotate through those different formats of storytelling, of adding value, and inviting to coaching or accountability group through those 3 topics. So if you know me off the top of your head, you'd probably imagine that being a runner is one of my topics, and that being a twin mom or like a mom is one of them. And then my other ones are like mindset, like motivation, and of course fitness, right? So when you're thinking of this, what do people know you for? What do they ask you about? What do you like to talk about? Like I like to talk about running. So if by having an account where I share running, it creates a natural connection with me as I share my running, and I could start talking to someone. So, or I start talking to people in my stories. And just remember that you want to kind of stick to these same content buckets because your audience came to your account for a reason. So they came to my account originally because I was a twin mom. And if I never talk about being a twin mom, they're going to leave or they're not going to be connected anymore, right? So if they came to my account because I'm a runner, I want to be talking about running. Okay, so this is the assignment, is to brain dump write down every single thing that you can think of that makes you, you, and then literally go through and just circle the top 3 that you want to talk about and are comfortable sharing about. So I want you to write, when you do this exercise, I want you to write down everything that really is about you, but maybe there's some things that you just aren't comfortable with, which is fine. So I know that some coaches, they're not comfortable sharing the things about their kids, and that's okay. So that doesn't have, even though you are a mom, it doesn't mean that one of your topics that you're going to be talking about regularly on social media is your kids. So just start thinking about these things. And like, for example, if you're vegan or vegetarian, that is a part of your life. Is it going to be one of your top 3 topics that you talk about? Is that you want people coming to your account because they know that you're vegan and they want to see some recipes, or they want to hear your story about how you became vegan, or they want to see how you get your protein in, because that's always the question that everyone always asks when someone's vegan, how they get their protein in. Or you could go down so many topics in that category, right? If that's your niche, but it doesn't even have to be as niche as that. It can be like, maybe you really like reading and you want to share like what you've been reading and things that you're getting out of these books. And that's part of your top 3, but maybe that's not your top 3. Maybe that's like something you share occasionally. Like I like to read, so I do share that occasionally. Another topic would be like, if you're pregnant, that is a topic that's going to be in probably your top 3 while you're pregnant, because that's a big part of your life right now, right? So I encourage you, if you are comfortable sharing that, is to talking about your pregnancy, what cravings you have, how you're incorporating fitness into it, using the hashtags that are involved in all, however many weeks pregnant you are, 20 weeks pregnant, like I used to use like twin pregnancy hashtag a lot, the bump date one. These are just some other examples of people on our team. Like we have some homeschooling moms, like people that are like full-time working moms. If you're really into fashion, like I said, Kelly is, or home decor, and you want to share parts of that. If you love cooking and you're good at taking pictures of food, which I am not, then that could be one of yours. I know there's a top coach who loves Disney, and so like she shares about Disney all the time. You're a fire wife, a police wife, and so you want to share about how your husband has shift work and how you mix in your workouts with that, or the struggles of that, or what it's like to be on one of those. It's like Kim DeLima on our team. So I don't know if you actually have been doing this while I've been talking, but if you didn't yet, I would take some time at the end of this call and just sit down and kind of think, like, what are the top 3 things I want someone to come to my page and I want them to know about me? So like if you have, like in your profile, those things would be in your profile, right? What are the 3 things that people want to, like, should come to my story? And then when you're creating content and you're like, I don't know what to write, pick one of those 3 things and then either tell a story about it, add value in that category, or use it to invite to a challenge group. So this is an example of my page. So I do real talk twin mom life. I often get feedback that people really appreciate my they don't say I'm vulnerable, but they say that they appreciate that I tell it like it is. I'm not a perfect mom. I'm not the Pinterest mom. I'm the, like, this is life. I like being a mom, but there's parts of it I don't like. And I share that, and that's part of my account. I share running inspiration, and even the running, since many of us are runners, I do want to address the running part, is that we're all different in our run. Like your running niche is going to be different than mine. Like I'm the analytical runner who likes training plans. I like Garmin. I like sharing my splits on my speed work. I like things like that. But there might be like the techie, the Garmin person who's super into, or running person who's super into the shoes and super into that thing. Or there's the casual runner, or there's the girl that used to run a lot but isn't running right now. So like, we're not, even though we're all runners, we can all have our own voice within this topic. There's so many things you can talk about in running. I go back and tell stories about past races. I can tell people like about how I got into running, because my boyfriend and I broke up, and I was like on a mission. I was this party girl, and I was like, I'm gonna prove him wrong, and I'm gonna run this half marathon, because he didn't like to even go on walks with me. So running is a big part of mine, obviously. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm like, if I look at my feed and I'm like, shoot, I haven't posted about running in a while, I'm gonna make sure I have a post in there. And so for me, mindset and belief is another one. And this is a topic for me that's come with time as I've gotten more into coaching, and I've gotten more brave sharing it. And I just really have gotten into personal development. I really enjoy sharing the things that I've learned on this journey from being, very insecure and not a confident person, and going from that person to who I am today, and going from someone who was stuck in a job that I just felt like I should do because I should, to the woman I am today that's doing something unconventional and being a leader and running my own business, right? So that's me going from like sharing that journey with people. So I wanted to show Kim's, Kim does a great job with social media. You notice like her pictures are this is some recent from her feed. Her pictures are very light and colorful. And so some of the themes that she has, for example, which are different than mine, are, so she does a lot of like healthy living with kids. Like Kim's really value heavy. So I'm more story heavy. She's more value heavy. So she's sharing like this video up in the right hand corner. She did she went through her meal prep and how she meal preps, and she did a video. This is like a healthy, I think, a mocktail recipe. And then she's great at sharing she has an amazing transformation that she's shared. And she's pregnant. So she's sharing about her pregnancy, how she's working out during pregnancy. She shares a lot of like healthy living with her kids tips, like activities to help them be active. And she weaves her story of, one of her main stories is how when she was so overweight that she couldn't physically play with her kids. And she weaves that into her content and to her story a lot. She's also a full-time working mom, so she gives tips on that. So this is me and Kim's feed when we first started coaching. So on the left here is Kim's feed when she first joined as a coach. So sharing about her kids. She did this, I think it's a workout video at the top left, pick some food pics, a flexing pic. It's fine, but it's not what you saw on the last slide, which was more polished and more put together, right? So this is me when I first started coaching too. So keep in mind, we didn't have Instagram stories back then. But I have a screenshot here of getting accepted to a marathon, which is not something you'd want to put on a main post. I have a discount code. I used to be an ambassador for a race thing. Oh, this is when the hardcore, a new workout program came out, and I took a graphic from, these are things not to do, by the way. So I took a graphic from that Beachbody had on the website, and I just put it on my main feed. No, I don't do that. This was a good picture of me and Mike, and I was figuring it out, but you know what, both Kim and I didn't do is we didn't quit, and we weren't afraid to just learn and to go and to see what works. I remember I did some posts and they got almost they would get no likes, and I think I deleted some. I was so embarrassed. But you just have to start sharing your voice and then see what works. All right. So as for the writing of it, like I said, those three categories: value, story, and invite. So what to write for value? Something that's working for you. So sharing that you started waking up early in the morning, and that you used to be, or you stopped snoozing, and how you did that. A how-to, would be a good how-to. I did a how-to, this is like not, doesn't go with the theme, but people always ask me about my eyelashes. So I did a how-to video on how I do my mascara because it's something that people ask me a lot. A recipe is value, like sharing podcasts or movies or shows that have worked for you, something you learned in a personal development book. You can share, like, you can add a lot of value in your Instagram stories. This isn't what this call is about, but like, if you see something, like I know that Rebecca, who's on our team, shared recently that Target started doing, you can pick up your groceries that are cold. You know how usually you can't do, if you ever do drive up, you can't do cold groceries, but now you can. And I saw that and I was like, yes, I'm so excited about that. So she was adding value in a very small way through this story. So in terms of the storytelling, you can tell the story of what happened to you today. I just encourage you to, like Rebecca, again, a good example. She did a great post today about taking a rest day today. And she like went into some detail in the story. So it wasn't like super long, but it wasn't vanilla. It was like she let you get into insight into her personality and her family and how her day went. You can go back and like tell your birth story. You could tell like a story from your childhood as it relates to who you are today. I know I've shared stories about my childhood and usually I get like some great feedback on them and people are like, I didn't know that you were an only child with a single mom. Like sharing those parts of you so that you're relating to the other people that are only children of single moms. You can tell running race stories if you're a runner. You can tell when you found out you were pregnant, especially if you have twins, that's a great story. You could throw back to like your gender reveal. Sorry for the typo, started writing another sentence and didn't get it on here. As you will know, once you guys get to know me, is I am not an editor of my stuff. So I have typos all over the place and that's who I am. So that's part of just owning who you are and knowing that you're not gonna be perfect and people will still like you for it. So the last one is inviting to a group. So I encourage you when you invite to a challenge group, rather than making it like sound like an advertisement. So sometimes I'll see people be like, are you feeling like you're in a slump this summer? Well, you should join our accountability group. We have a group of ladies starting. It's awesome. And send me, if you want information, then ask. So it's great that you put yourself out there and you're invited, but it's not going to be as effective as telling a story within the invite. So if you go to my feed, you will often see when I do a call to action, so an invite to a group, this could be a whole nother call as the invites to the group, but just go back to that new coach call. If you're a new coach, that was the formula that I gave for you, was like, tell a story about where you were before, what Beachbody did to change it, and then call to action at the end. I'm looking for 5 ladies to join our next virtual boot camp. Or, if you're interested in coaching, things like that. But the reason I wanted this to be in the rotation of 3 a week is because I often see people who do the other 2, they're posting consistently on their page, but they never invite. And so no one knows that you're a coach. No one knows that they can join you. They just think you're inspiring or that you're adding value, but they don't know that they can actually join you. Or I see the opposite, where you invite all the time, but you don't do enough storytelling or adding value. And so people are like, I'm getting invited to something, but I don't really understand what it is or why I would want to join it. So obviously this is going to be unique to every person and where in your Instagram or in your social media strategy that you are needing to fill some of those holes, but hopefully this makes sense. So I looked at my feed to give you guys some specific examples if you want to look at mine, Fitness Fatale. So I actually had to go dig a little bit to find like a specific value one. So I know that I need to add a little bit more value, but I did share some podcasts and audiobooks that I've been enjoying during running, and it was a picture of me running. I feel like I add value a little bit more through my stories, but I told a story. I tell a lot of stories, so I found a lot of story examples to tell you. But my post from yesterday was me going to the beach with my daughter and having one-on-one time with her. It wasn't a super lengthy post, but I did talk about how I felt a little guilty leaving the twins at home. and that I was really excited to have that one-on-one time with my daughter. So that story is going to help me connect to other moms who are in those same shoes, right? Other moms who have multiple children, who miss having that one-on-one time with maybe their firstborn, who they had I had 2.5 years with just me and Sienna. She was my little buddy. And then an example of an invite to a group or coaching on my feed is I have a photo with my girls, and then I also shared my income, but I talked about, I went back to my story about corporate finance and then turning into a coach. And remember, you don't have to have a crazy income progression, or you don't have to have left your job or anything to share about coaching, because you have plenty of reasons to be a coach, because maybe for just the community, the fact that you helped someone today in your challenge group and they told you that they've actually worked out for 21 days. For me, those are some of the most fulfilling things ever. Is like, I have a friend who, this would be a great story to tell. I have a friend who, she has literally never worked out 21 days in a row, but she committed to MBF and she did it. And she would text me and she'd be like, friend, I can't even believe it. I'm on day 11. This is the most consistent I've ever been. Just like, thank you so much. And that felt so amazing to me. That makes me feel like I want to be a coach, right? That's a great thing that I could share as a story to either invite people to a challenge group, or I could share that as a story to invite people to coaching. Like, do you want to do something fulfilling that helps you spread your love for health and fitness with others? That could be a great post for that. All right, my final tips. Again, the photo that you use for social media, because I think this is another thing that hurts people, is they're like, I just don't have enough photos to post. Like I said, when you are out and about, just remind yourself to take a picture. And you don't have to use it that day. Like, I have a good running photo, like the running photo I used the other day wasn't from that day's run, but it was better than a different picture I had. If you have an idea for a post, I often get my best ideas when I'm running, and you'll kind of figure out when your best ideas pop into your brain. I will just take out my notes on my phone and just write a little, like, I'll either write the post, I've written posts while I'm running, stopped and written them, or I will just write a couple notes so that I know to go back later for inspiration. If you find yourself scrambling, or you're very much a planner, like I know Kim does this, is she plans a lot of her posts in advance. I am not a super advanced planner on my posts, so it's going to be your own personality. But you could pick a day of the week, and maybe you want 3 posts that week and you plan out 2 of them, right? And then you at least have those for the times when you need them. I don't recommend going more, like, ideally you're 3 days a week, but don't go more than like 4 days without posting on your feed at all. Every post doesn't have to have a long story or caption or even value. So even though I just told you to do those 3, like if you have, like on 4th of July or every holiday, I always post a picture of my family and say happy whatever holiday. And I'm not like, oh, this doesn't fit into my like perfect, I don't have like a perfect system. But don't be afraid if you do have an awesome moment. Like, don't be afraid, like just because you don't have time to write out a long post, but you got a great picture and it was a great moment, just don't be afraid to just post that with a short caption, and that's what it is, right? After you post it, always share it to your stories. So if you go to the right-hand corner of your post, there's there's that little arrow, and you can share it right to your stories. And I think that really helps your story viewers see that you posted something new and go back to it. That helps boost your engagement. And again, these posts are part of the reason you do them is so that people can find you. So using hashtags is important. I recommend just using at least 10. If not, you can use up to 30, but I like to just keep some lists on my phone of different hashtags to use. All right, so I know this was a lot, and some people, like I said, are going to be, I have new coaches who have come on who they're like, I already do this. Like I already do these things that you're saying. And then I have other people who are like, this is so foreign to me. It's so brand new. Just know that you're a beginner. Start somewhere, start sloppy. And if this is something you need to grow in, and you really do need to like grow in this, these are some resources. I mean, I always listen to Women Inspiring Women podcasts. It's one of the things I listen to on my runs, which is a lot of times why I have an idea. and I stop and write notes. But in March 2020, she did a social media month where she went in, she's a Beachbody coach, Melanie Mitro, and she went in and she has some great podcasts in March 2020 about social media. She also has a planner. If you're into planning, like I said, this wouldn't be a good planner for me because I'm just not, but she has one called Make Chic Happen Planner that helps you plan out your social media posts and comes up with content ideas. She's like the guru of content and social media. You can go to the Beachbody Champions page. Again, this is a Facebook page. It should be in it. Under units, there's social media trainings. We also, in our team page, Fit and Balance, have a social media training. If you want an audiobook on this, Stories That Stick by Kendra Hall, who spoke at Summit. And then the Jasmine Star Show is a podcast that's really good. But at the same time, even if this is something you're like, I do need to work in, I don't want you spending like 40 hours researching it and watching trainings. That's like, no one expects you to be an expert. I just want you to start with these three, like be like, I just need to post on social media 3 days a week. Even if it doesn't fit into those 3 buckets, that's just the guidance I'm giving you, but just start somewhere. And if you want that extra accountability on your Team Cup team, I would tell them like, hey, I really need some help with the social media posting. Can you keep me accountable to this? I want to do 3 posts a week. You could even share ideas. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions, or does anyone who like started coaching but was not a social media person have any like tips that helped them? I know Tracy's come quite a ways as well.
One thing that I've noticed, what I've heard in the past, and I kind of try to do it, is let's say that you have like a post, like I do it a lot on my before and after photos posts, every couple of days or so when I remember, honestly, but I should do it every day. But when I remember, I go, like I post all of the hashtags that I already have, like in a little note, on a comment section, not on the actual post. So then you go back, delete that comment and put it all again so that it will run through the system again, because those hashtags are good, but since a lot of people use them, the lifespan is very short. Like if it's a good hashtag, it's gonna die out like fast. People are gonna see it and then it's gonna be gone. So if you post it even every hour, if you post it every hour, if it's a good hashtag, you will come up on the feed again and again and again. But if you just leave it there, it's just never gonna come, it's gonna get lost. So you wanna like delete comments and post it again, delete, post it again, like for a couple of days, maybe your best post that people like, get value, they engage, do it often.
Huh.
I thought that it was based on the post of like the post actual date, not on the hashtag.
No, every hashtag has a life of its own. So like, let's say hashtag Insta good or motivational Monday, all those hashtags have very short lifespan, could be seconds. Other ones, they last longer, but the good ones are the ones that have like 1.1 million or something, because everybody's using them, everybody's reading them. It's just, so if you go back like every hour, like there's people that do it every like 5 minutes, you know what I mean? Like you're just like constantly like doing it. Obviously you have to have time for that. But if you like every now and then you're like, oh, I feel like I'm in a rut, like I wanna like get to know more people, engage, just go back to your favorite posts, do the hashtags again, and let it be. And then you're probably gonna have like more people kind of reaching out to you and stuff.
Yeah.
Like finding them.
I've never done that before. I said I've never done that before, and actually I've never heard that before. So,
well, back in the day, I used to research a lot because I have another Instagram for like stepmoms, and so I listened to a lot of podcasts and stuff like that. And I remember that that was one of the best tips that I like that stuck with me.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the algorithm is always changing, and no one knows how it truly works. The best way you can do to grow and to connect is to create good content. So by connecting with people, being who you are, giving them reason to share your posts or be like, me too, right? I have a lot of women who come to me and they say, I just feel like I know you. And I mean, I feel like we're in the same, like I'm in the same boat. I had a twin mom tell me the other day, she was like, you're like my blog, like, she was like, you gave me hope because there were so many negative things about twin pregnancies out there. And it's like, you just don't, like, the cool thing about social media is like, it connects you. I mean, connected to so many of you guys. Like, not very many of you I know in person. So like, it's just, that's connected me through my storytelling and through our conversations. So just whenever you're afraid to post something, just think like, who could I be out there that needs to hear this today?
I think another thing with storytelling is like, there's one thing about storytelling, and I think like Kendra Hall's, I haven't read it yet, but I mean, you know, stories that stick, you know, you want to kind of get into the, not really the meats and potatoes of it, but you want to give like good points instead of like just rambling on and on and on. Cause like, I think if you ramble too much, people are going to get lost in the story, and they won't, then they're going to say like, well, so what, like what's next? And so I think there's a fine line of, you know, captivating them, but then like also telling them something. Well, I think she said it best, like, you know, is it going to add value to them, or like, is it basically for you to vent, or is it, you know, to kind of like tell a story that will, you know, impact them or show them something and add value to them? So there's like I'm learning it too, but you know, as you like storytell and as you know, go through things, you know, sometimes like I sometimes feel like I'm really long-winded at times. I'm like, ooh, that sounds a little too long. And so I think it's just something that we all have to work on a bit.
Yeah. You've gotten a lot better, Tracy, too. She was a good example of someone who, yeah, I feel like in the beginning it was more of just like documenting, which I think documentation on social media was like in 2012, that's what you did, right? Like blogs. I used to just write long blogs about my whole life, detailing it all. And then now it's like people want it shorter and sweeter. And on that same note, that first line of they only show you the first line, right? So like, you always want it to be something that's going to make someone click and say, what else did she write, right? So if the more eye-catching, or that's why whenever I review people's new coaches coming out posts, I'm always like, okay, let's revise this first line, because oh yeah, new neighbors are here, guys. That first line is going to be like, unless you have an amazing transformation, obviously, then people are going to be reading what you're going to write under that one. But that first line really helps bring people in.
As a captivate. Back in the day, I used to post like at least 5 things on my feed every day. It was insane. It was like crazy.
That's what a lot of people used to do, but it's just like,
yeah,
you know,
it was like my coffee, my food, my this, my that.
Yeah, that's what, back when I was looking through my old posts, that's because we didn't have stories. So like, you wanted to be front, they were like that when I first was coaching, it was like, be front of mind. You just always want to have something, like a new thing up. It doesn't matter what it is, just get something out there.
And like those filters from Instagram.
Yeah.
And I always felt like it had to be happening right then. Like it was Instagram, like it couldn't be like a photo that you took a while ago. It had to be right then.
Instagram is in the instant that you posted.
Yeah.
Cool.
Gosh.
Well, I hope that was helpful. And yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we want to take a picture? I feel like a lot of people aren't showing their faces. It's late where you guys are.
There they are.
Cooking dinner, eating food.
Yeah, to me it's like 10 p.m. and I'm like, I'm about to like jump in the chocolate closet.
Yay! Woohoo! Anyone else? Oh, we have Casey. You're the last one. Is she gonna come on?
Come on.
She's gonna put her shirt on.
Dark.
Oh, it's so dark.
You. We can see you a little bit. Okay, let's do boomerang. It's more fun. Okay. 1, 2, 3. All right. Have a good night, ladies.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.